What if there's no blow-off top for Bitcoin this time around? That's the fascinating theory that's been floating around the crypto world these days. When I first saw someone post that, I stopped immediately and was like, dang, I have to think about this some more. Because if it's true, then that changes everything. I'm not trying to be dramatic here. Many of us still have PTSD from the last bear market, where we held all the way up and all the way back down. So we vowed that this time we'd sell near the top and then come back when the next bull market begins. Our entire strategy hinges on getting one of these blow-off tops. If that never comes, then our plans won't work out. We may end up holding through yet another brutal bear market, and that would be disastrous. That's why when I heard this theory, I had to dig in further, and in this video, I'll share with you everything that I found. I'll share the most convincing arguments against the blow-off top, what we may see instead, and what we can do to prepare for all scenarios. For all you long-term holders out there, this video is for you. Strap in, my friend, and let's roll the intro. First, let's get on the same page on what exactly a blow-off top is/looks like. Well, this, my friend, is what it looks like. It's where the price starts to rocket so much that it feels like it can only go up. And during those face-melting rallies, there's little to no pullbacks whatsoever. I'm not talking about measly 50% gains either. These moves are often 2x, 3x, or even 10x gains. But afterwards, we see huge dumping with massive volume, when a lot of investors decide to take profits. But wait a sec, why are people even expecting this to happen? Well, because it's happened multiple times in Bitcoin's history. Like you see here on the chart for 2014, and also here for 2017 that many of us personally experienced. It's also a key part of the 4-year cycle theory, which basically states that Bitcoin moves in these predictable 4-year cycles, which starts with a halving event, then we have a bull market, then a blow-off top, which leads to a bear market, and then we consolidate for a bit before finally reaching the next halving. And then the whole cycle kicks off again, rinse and repeat. So you can kind of see why so many people expect for a blow-off top to happen again. But there are 3 huge reasons why they may be wrong and why we may not get a blow-off top. First is because Bitcoin is much larger these days compared to before. We broke $1 trillion in market cap in 2021, so it's a gigantic asset now. If there's a blow-off top, we'd go to what, 2, 3 trillion or even 10 trillion market cap? That would require an enormous amount of capital to move it that much, and that may not be reasonable to expect anytime soon. Second, there's a different set of market participants these days. In prior years, Bitcoin was largely dominated by early retail adopters. But this time around, we have institutions, large trading firms, and even nation states jump in. These entities operate in a much different manner than retail newbies who FOMO in and then panic sell. These guys rebalance periodically. They use algorithms to trade, they hedge their positions, and in general, they're much better at creating a plan and sticking to it. So with these new participants playing the game with a lot of capital, it may not be as easy for just raw retail emotions to take over and move the price of Bitcoin like it has in the past. Third, there are so many other legit projects these days that suck away liquidity from Bitcoin, and that liquidity would be sorely needed to make a blow-off top happen. Last few cycles, Bitcoin was really the only project that found real traction. Everything else was just vaporware, ICOs, or scams. But this time we have so many other projects with real usage, whether that's measured by total value locked, active users, or whatever. And we have a boatload of VC capital floating around that gets invested back in these projects. So unless there's something that pulls all of that capital back into Bitcoin, it's gonna be hard to get a blow-off top. But let's think about this for a second. If we don't have a blow-off top, then what might it look like instead? Well, a lot of people have been saying that it could be a rounded top, or kind of like a distribution pattern if you're into TA. Others have been even saying that it could be a double top, which means that our bull market would be over already. Personally, I don't think that's the case, but we'll see. Another theory is that Bitcoin will start to move more and more like traditional markets, like the S&P 500. It will trend mostly upwards with corrections along the way, but much smaller, like 30% or so, rather than the huge 80+% multi-year bear markets that we had before. This is pretty similar to Dan Held's supercycle theory, by the way, if you've heard of that one before. I'm sure there's some other possibilities that I missed, but write us below with what you think would happen if not for a blow-off top. But let's say for the sake of argument that we will not get a blow-off top. What does that mean for our strategy then? Well, we should definitely adjust. Perhaps the price levels that we start to take profits, the percentage amounts at each level, and our schedule/timing, all of that could be adjusted. If you plan on hedging like me, maybe you should start preparing sooner rather than waiting for a blow-off top to happen before you place a hedge. By tweaking our strategy, we won't make as much money if a blow-off top does indeed come. But that's the whole point. We don't know for sure what's going to happen in the future, so our strategy should take that uncertainty into account. That way we can optimize for a range of scenarios and not just go all out betting that something will happen. If you ask me though, I think there's still a chance that we see a blow-off top. I give it about a 40% chance that we get one. Willy Woo, a well-known on-chain analyst, says that he thinks this will be the last cycle for Bitcoin before we enter supercycle mode, which means we would still get a blow-off top and a longer bear market afterwards. I see some solid points that support that as well, like the Bitcoin markets are not still fully mature yet. It's really only MicroStrategy and El Salvador stacking sats. Maybe in a few years we'll have a lot more corporations and nation states participate. Also, if we have a lot of diamond hands holding Bitcoin and the price starts to rise up, retail will FOMO in and then algo bots will buy in as well, and that could be a recipe to generate yet another blow-off top. What do you think though? Yay or nay for a blow-off top? Please share your predictions down below so we can all take a look. Also, if you're looking to prepare for all scenarios, you should watch this video I made about how to hedge properly. Or you can watch this one, which explains why the 4-year cycles may be over. Anyways, I'm Kevin from Coinsider. I can't wait to see you in the next one, and cheers!